killing ogres, killing dragons, and even killing gods. Welcome to the violent but beautiful world of God of War, and today I'm getting the Platinum Trophy. And also, as before, spoiler alerts, because, well, I'm going to be showing the story, so skip to this timestamp if you don't want to see the story. Let's begin. But before we begin, let's go through what we're going to do to get this Platinum. Now, step 1 of 3 in our steps to get the Platinum is just to beat the story. We start off as the God of War himself, Kratos, chopping down a tree that he will need later. As we're carrying the tree, we get introduced to our son Atreus, which later in the story he gets pretty annoying, trust me. The basic story of this is Kratos' wife, or Atreus' mother, died, and now they're going to cremate her and bring her ashes to the top of the mountain, which was her dying wish. While we are waiting for Atreus' mother's body to fully burn, we decide to go hunting with Atreus, so he can learn the skill of using his bow and arrow and just surviving in general. We do find some sort of mythical reindeer, and then Atreus tries to shoot it but kind of fails, honestly. And then we get introduced to the first enemies of the game, which honestly kind of went worse than I expected. Yup, I died on the first fight of the entire game. The next one I got it, but still, I was surprised that I died on the first fight in the entire game. Now I just found my first Nornir chest, and what it can do is it gives you very good stuff, and I can get 2 trophies towards that if I find a total of 18 Nornir chests. And in my first Nornir chest I got this, and it's yeah, that. Anyway, we keep on exploring and going through, and then Atreus actually shot the deer with an arrow. So, well done to him, I guess. And then we find this weird ogre thing, and I actually found this boss fight easier than the first fight in the entire game. After that, we come back home and someone starts knocking at our door, and then Kratos tells Atreus to hide under the floor in case it is someone dangerous. And then, to my surprise, someone that I didn't expect to come over knocked at our door. Conor McGregor?
He won't do shit! Do fucking nothing!
And to my surprise, he actually did pack quite a punch. Oh my god, never mind. And of course we have to go into a boss battle with him, which he is known as the Stranger, which is kind of a cool name, honestly. And during the fight, he kept on bragging about how he couldn't feel anything.
I can't feel any of this. Nothing! I feel nothing!
Okay, yeah, you're kind of bragging at this point. And then we killed him and got a trophy. And we got our first trophy, the journey begins. Wow, we really got our first trophy 3.5 minutes into the video? Yeah, that's how you know this is going to be a long video. Anyway, later on I got my first runic attack, which are basically like special attacks you can add to your weapons, and I got a trophy for equipping one. Now, because Conor McGregor was at our doorstep, he promised that he will not stop trying to kill us until we are actually dead, so we have to leave our home and try and explore to leave somewhere else, and also to spread the ashes on the highest summits for Atreus' mum. As usual, we kept on killing enemies until we found this guy, or met this guy called Brock, who looks like an old Smurf, honestly. Turns out he was the one that actually made our axe, the Leviathan axe, with his brother, but his brother had parted ways, and now we can upgrade our gear if we go over to his shop. Then we go exploring more, and then we find another ogre and then kill it as well. Then we find a boar, and then Atreus wants to hunt it, so then he shoots it. The boar didn't die, so then Atreus went looking for us, and then of course since he went looking for us, we lost him, and now we have to find him and see where the boar is as well. Then we see Atreus with the boar and the random woman, who then seems to be a witch, and lives in a turtle. Yes, a turtle. And then we help her save the boar, because it is the last of its kind, and it is also her friend. Somehow she's friends with the pig, I don't know. And we get a trophy from that. And then she lends us her boat so we can leave the area. Then we make it to this place called the Lake of Nine, where we see a statue of Thor and something else. Well, kind of massive, honestly. Something called the World Serpent appeared, and it uncovered a massive temple when it arose. And somehow Brock was just inside of the temple the entire time. And when we got inside, we got something called the World Tree Stone, which would help us fast travel around the map, which is actually really good for later in the Platinum. Then we get 3 trophies. Yes, 3. One for giving the homeless kid some clothes. Crap, this one. This looks the best. And I get a trophy, best dress. Got a trophy for upgrading my armor. And enchanting my armor. Then we meet Brock's brother, who actually had a love interest for Atreus' mum. Then we make our way to the mountain to spread the ashes of Atreus' mum. And then we fight this weird ogre thing, but then we kill it. Then, as we're about to make it to the top of the mountain, we see this black mist called Black Breath, which is poisonous to us. And the only way we can get rid of it from the witch, as she says, is to get the lice of Alfheim, which we need to go to another realm, which is Alfheim. Then we use the World Tree, yes, that World Tree, and use this to go to Alfheim. But before we go to Alfheim, I get another trophy for fully upgrading a runic attack. Then we make it to Alfheim, and here, basically there are 2 different types of elves in Alfheim. Dark elves and light elves. The light elves have the good lice that we need, and the dark elves have the stuff that we don't need. And basically, what I'm saying is that the Dark Elves have taken over Alfheim because, okay, the Dark Elves and the Light Elves like fight each year, fight across on which like kind of race owns Alfheim, and we're trying to get the Light Elves to own Alfheim. So yeah, that's basically okay. I'm gonna stop yapping, so you're alright now. We make it into the Light Temple, or the Temple of Alfheim, and then fight the Dark Elves so we can get to the lights. Anyway, we make it into the temple, do some puzzles, and then Atreus gets kidnapped, we save him, so on and so on. Then we make it into the nest of the Dark Elves, where we have to destroy the nest and then restore lice, as I said earlier. We keep on going through the nest, and then as Kratos we go through the actual lice of Alfheim, where we figure out that behind our back, Atreus has been saying stuff about us, that he thinks Thor should have been a better father than Kratos. Then we come back to Alfheim, where now the Light Elves rule, and now we have to do some more puzzles to get to the end. And then we get a trophy for putting all the Light Elves back into their home. Oh, it's all light now. Okay. And on our way back, we actually fought our actual first boss of the game. Oh, we have to fight this guy, great. And then we beat him. And no, there was not a trophy for beating this guy, I just wanted to put it in the video. Then we go back to Midgard and then continue our journey onto the mountain. And yes, using the lice of Alfheim, we were able to wash away the Black Breath. We make it inside the mountain, kill some enemies, open some chests, and then when we were actually going to make it to the top of the mountain, Atreus did this.
The claw's on one side, and if we get this unstuck... Stuck under that rock.
That was careless.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Atreus, what were you doing? Yep, Atreus broke our only way up to the mountain. And then we had to fix it ourselves. So, see how he's annoying? Remember when I said earlier he gets annoying in the story? Yeah, this is what I meant. Well, we do fix the lift, and as we're going up to the mountain, to the top of the mountain, this happens.
We're almost at the summit. Nothing's gonna stop us.
Whoa, what? Is that a dragon?
And stay behind me.
Yes, we're fighting a dragon now, and he escaped while he left the mountain, and then we chased after him to kill him. Okay, that was cold. That was cold. And then we got a trophy for beating him as well. Soon after that, we went to the top of the mountain and heard voices coming from the mountain. It turned out to be the stranger who was actually the god, Balder, and his two nieces, Magni and Modi, and another guy called Mimir, who we'll talk about in a bit. Mimir then tells us that this is sadly not the highest peak in all the realms, and the highest peak is in a place called Jotunheim, where giants, yes, giants, live. And he told us that how to get there is, well, you need to go through the portal in front of him, and it can take a while to find the rune to open that portal. He also told us that in order for him to help us, we need to help him. So we have to cut off his head so he can be freed from this tree that he's stuck in, and try and revive his head, and the only way we can do that is by talking to the witch that we were talking to earlier. We go over to the witch and go to the witch's house, and then she says that the arrows that Atreus has that are green, he shouldn't have them, which is kind of odd for her to say. Then she helps us revive Mimir, but then has the audacity to say that she's actually a god as well, which is Freya. And Kratos isn't too happy about this because she didn't tell him at first. After that, Mimir then tells us to get into the portal, we need a certain material from a chisel from a giant known as Thamur, and we have to get a small tiny piece of his chisel so then we can get into the portal, or get the rune for the portal. Then we break into where the chisel is, and then we meet Magni and Modi, which is where we get another boss fight. Unlike the last two boss fights, I'm not just going to use up time in the video by putting in like a minute or a minute and a half of gameplay of fighting the boss, so I'm just going to show you the end on what happens after the fight. Then we kill Magni, which is Modi's brother, or one of the twins, and then Modi tells us that he'll come back for us and kill us one day. So yeah, that's not foreshadowing, isn't it? And then we get a trophy for beating the two of them. I just hope Modi's okay, even though we just butchered his brother.
Calm down, let's not let your heart. You guys, we're the real heroes.
You fucking.
Then we go to the World Tree Temple, or the Lake of Nine, where we have to get the Black Rune so we can activate the portal to Jotunheim. Then we see someone there that I wasn't expecting, at least. Modi comes down, and then because of revenge for his brother, Magni, he starts shocking Kratos and like electrifying him. Then Atreus starts getting annoyed and tries to get Spartan range, but then he just kind of like decombusts and faints. Then we go to Freya and say that the boy has fallen ill, or Atreus has fallen ill, and she tells us that we need to go to the land of Helheim, where our ice axe, or the Leviathan axe, won't work because they're all made of ice, so we have to get another weapon. And then we get a weapon that's better than the Leviathan axe, in my opinion, which are the Blades of Chaos, which instead of inflicting ice onto enemies, it inflicts fire, and in my opinion it's a lot better than the Leviathan axe. And then we get a little intro to how they work by killing some ice guys, and then we also get a trophy for it as well. Then we make it to Helheim, where what we have to do to cure Atreus is to kill this beast right here, which is blocking the gates from Helheim. We have to take his horse, give it to the witch, and then she'll cure Atreus. I beat the boss easily, we go back to the witch, we cure Atreus, and then we get another trophy from that. On the way to get the Black Rune again, or try to get the Black Rune again, we tell Atreus that he is also part god, and let's just say he takes it very well and gets very cocky with that. Then we solve a few puzzles, get the Black Rune, and then go back to the temple, where Atreus gets a bit rude to Kratos actually.
Have you forgotten your training?
Oh, are you talking to me? Thought you didn't like my tone.
Anyway, we did see Balder when we got to the top of the mountain, but then Atreus actually betrayed us and shot us instead, even though we were telling him to shoot Balder, which was kind of a Tracer move, if I have to say. Then Balder kidnapped Atreus, and then we had to fight him all through different dimensions on the dragon, and then when we finally stopped him and got Atreus back, we got another trophy. Now, because of Atreus, we are stuck in Helheim. But while we're trying to find a way out, we actually see Balder talking to the Helheim version of his mum, and turns out that his mum was Freya, and Freya cursed him with not being able to feel anything and being immortal. So now he's actually trying to kill her for doing that to him all those years ago. Either way, we find an old ship, and then in that ship we float it up using fire. We're able to float it up, and then when we escape Helheim using the ship, we get another trophy. We find out that years ago as well afterwards that a god called Tyr was able to travel the realms without even using the world tree. So we figure out how, and what we need is a special stone to go with this, which is called the Unity Stone. With this, we have to travel underneath the world tree, like realm area, and then we have to go through an area of like challenges and boss fights to do to get to the Jotunheim Tower. Sorry, I'm stuttering now. So then we flip the temple to get to the tournament thing, get the key, and then go to the tournament, beat the bosses, and then come back to Midgard. Turns out that, well, to actually travel to Jotunheim as well, we need to use Mimir's head and use his eyes specifically because we can travel realms with them. But as you can see, Mimir only has one eye and we need both eyes. So now we have to find his second eye. Oh my god, why is there so much stuff to do to this game? Luckily though, the World Serpent, or just the giant snake that we met earlier, actually told us where his second eye is. And it is actually inside of his stomach. Yep. We have to go inside of his stomach to get Mimir's eye. Then we go inside of the beast's stomach, get Mimir's eye, and then when we try to get out, something starts attacking the World Serpent, which is none other than Balder. Of course, as Balder gets out of the water, we have to fight him, because if we don't fight him, then he's gonna kill Freya, which Freya is like right there. But then when fighting him, this happens.
Breathe, boy. Breathe.
My blood.
Yo, what? That actually makes sense. The reason I said that actually makes sense is because remember earlier when Freya told Atreus not to use those green arrows? Yeah, that means that she told us not to use it because it is probably the antidote to making Balder, well, unbeatable, or like morsel, not a morsel. So then after that, we keep on fighting Balder, we defeat him, and then we tell Balder that if he kills Freya, then we're gonna kill him, or attempts to kill Freya, then we're gonna kill him. Of course, he doesn't listen, so he tries to kill Freya, and right after he tries to, Kratos just kills him, like straight up just murders him. And then after that, of course, Freya gets upset, tells us that she's gonna try and kill us for the next few hundred years because we killed her son. And yeah, that's basically the end of the game. Oh yeah, we also get a trophy from that as well. Actually no, it isn't the end of the game since we still have to spread the ashes on the highest peak in Jotunheim. So once we get to Jotunheim, we go to the place that Kratos' wife, Faye, told us to go. and we figure out some secrets there that actually she was trying to point us towards when she died. Like, she literally knew everything that was going to happen, including the fight with Baldur, killing the dragon, and she was actually a giant as well, which means Atreus is part god, part human, and part giant. And also, behind this cloth, there was actually art on the wall that showed Atreus killing Kratos when they are older. So that's something to see in the later games. So then we head to the mountain peak, spread the ashes, and then get a trophy for beating the game. Now, after the story, I still have another 21 trophies to go including the platinum, before I actually get the platinum trophy. So let's go to the next step of the sheets, which are the post-game trophies. Now, the first two post-game trophies that I got were Path of the Zealots for crafting the Traveler's armor sets, and Primordial for crafting the Ancient's armor sets. So I crafted both of them and then got 2 more trophies. Now, to get this platinum, I also have to go to 2 other different realms, Muspelheim and Niflheim, but I haven't unlocked them yet since I don't have every single language piece yet, it's called, or language cipher. So I have to go quickly get them, all the language ciphers, and then I get another trophy and we'll be able to go to Muspelheim and Niflheim. Yeah, we got the trophy. Also, remember how I was talking about Nornir chests earlier? Yeah, I opened every single one that had an Idune, I think, apple in it, and then I got another trophy from that as well. I've got another one of these chests, which is quite good. Oh, and I got a trophy. Your one's orchard. The next trophy I got was for exploring everywhere in the Lake of Nine. Now, while I was doing another trophy like oil and water for completing all the shopkeeper's favours, I actually got a different trophy for finding every single horn of blood mead from the Nornir chests as well. Okay, there's the Nornir chest. And then I got like oil and water straight after that. Now I'm going for the Curator trophy, and this trophy requires you to collect every artifact, basically collectible objects, but before then I actually got 4 different trophies as well. My first trophy was fully exploring an area called Vatergard. My next one was for killing 1,000 enemies. The next one was for finding every single Jotnar shrine, which are basically these closets with little stories in them. And I also freed 3 dragons, which are literally just freeing dragons off of different chains that they were stuck in. And even though it was very annoying and tedious, I eventually got the trophy Curator. Wherever it is, there it is. This should be my last. Yeah, got the trophy Curator. Oh, let's go. That actually took a bit of time. Didn't take too long, but it still took a bit of time. The next trophy I got was called Treasure Hunter, and this trophy is like Curator. You just have to find a bunch of stuff around the map. Kind of annoying and tedious, but then, like the Curator, eventually I got it done. The next trophy I got was called Unfinished Business, which is for doing these favours or like doing this work for these spirits because, well, they can't do it because, well, they're dead. And then I got the trophy. Now we're on our last 6 trophies for the Platinum and the Platinum trophy left. And these are the last 6 really important and quite difficult ones. And I'm actually going to put them in 3 pairs, 3 specific pairs, and you'll see why in a second. And the first pair that I'm going to do is the trophy Worthy and the trophy Darkness and Fog. You see, remember when I was talking about the place in Niflheim earlier? Yeah, that's where we are now to get the trophy Darkness and Fog. And the reason why I also put Worthy in there is because you actually have to get the trophy Worthy from here as well. Let me explain why we're here real quickly. There's this place called the Workshop in Niflheim, and the trophy is that I have to collect everything and open everything in Niflheim's workshop, or Ivaldi's workshop. And basically, there's this currency here called Mist Echoes. As you can see here, there's a timer at the top of my screen. If that timer runs out, because I'm inside of Mist right now, then I die, and I lose every single missed echo that I've collected. But if I go back to the workshop, then I kind of like bank in those missed echoes, and now I keep them. Here's an example. Let's say in the workshop I already have 5,000 missed echoes already, and then while I'm in the mist, I have 1,000. If I die having those 1,000, then I have to restart, but I still have my 5,000 in the bank. If I come back to the workshop with my 1,000 missed echoes, now I get an extra 1,000, which makes it 6,000 missed echoes in the bank now, and then I can go again. And the total amount of missed echoes I need to get for the trophy to open everything in the workshop is a total of 70,000. So yeah, it is quite a grind. Anyway, in the first chest that I actually opened in the workshop, I actually got the item that I needed to upgrade my Leviathan axe. So then I went to the shop and then I upgraded this, and then I got the trophy worthy. And then the next day, after quite a bit of grinding, I got the trophy, Darkness and Fog. Okay, now, that should be it.
Like my fingers are about to fall off.
I should get the trophy. Yeah, Darkness and Fog. Retrieve all treasure from the workshop's center chamber. Sorry, I just cannot speak. Now it's time to go to the place that I talked about earlier as well, Muspelheim. Not really that much to explain here. You have to do 18 different trials, and each trial is different. For example, survive a certain amount of time, or kill this certain amount of enemies, and yeah. So then I started going through the trials, beating them easily, honestly. And then at one point I encountered a Valkyrie. Valkyries are like mini bosses, but they're actually harder than some of the main bosses in the game, so they aren't really that much mini bosses. But yeah, I encountered my first one, and this is how it went.
Come on, get up, brother.
Okay, the Valkyries are quite hard to kill. And then on the next attempt, I actually killed her quite easily. And what I mean quite easily is like literally one bit of health left. And yeah, so I'm not excited for the future Valkyries in the future. And then she also dropped something to upgrade my Blades of Chaos, so then I went to the shop and then upgraded it and got a trophy. And then I did the trial right after that and then got a trophy. Fire and Brimstone. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I got the trophy! Fire and Brimstone. Complete all of... I can't read. Complete all of the trials in Muspelheim. Now it's time for my last two trophies. Allfather Blinded and Chooser of the Slain. Allfather Blinded is just more stupid collectibles, so I did that. But Chooser of the Slain is where you have to kill every Valkyrie in the game. So I killed the first 8, including the one that I was talking about earlier, and then you have to fight the Valkyrie Queen, which is the hardest boss in the game. And that boss is no joke. I kept on dying and dying and dying, and then I was literally getting depressed from this boss. Until one time, this happened, and I finally killed her.
I don't sound very happy about it.
It's difficult to be happy about anything when you're a reanimated head. I'm grateful we were able to set the Valkyries free. So much of this.
That's it. I got God of War 2018's Platinum. It was a really good Platinum. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I will Platinum God of War Ragnarok someday, but not today or anything like that. But yeah, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be making more videos soon. See you. Bye.